領域展開。無料空所。
Alright guys, I didn't say nothing for a while because I was watching the other ending, what happens when you take Adam's hand. Alright, I would learn that, well, apparently I chose the bad ending. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not to say I paid attention to the story, guys. I didn't consider Mother Spirit to be a good person by any means, let's be honest. Mother Spirit was obviously on some real evil shit if you think about it, bro. It all just didn't line, like the shit just literally didn't line up, bro. All the amount of the angels that were sitting down on earth that's dead, the amount of people that looked up to Mother Spirit but they ain't never answered, the Mother Spirit never answered any of their calls, like especially that ending was like complete genocide basically. It was about to take over Earth and Mother Spirit was going to eradicate all the T-Bus and all the rest of the android Eidos. It's like, bro, completely understand. But I'm gonna be blunt. I'm gonna be so blunt with you guys. My only thought I've actually put a lot more thought into it. And that's just me being simple fucking minded, alright? The reason why I chose not to take Adam's hand was also simple shit. Well, take it back. Two reasons. One, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't care for Adam that much. While I get his point when he was like he wanted to fuse to be an evolutionized human being, I can't even remember what I said originally at that point before. I said, oh yeah, and also kind of came to the thought of what if he just takes over Eve's mind, then what? And just turns out to be evil as shit. And that also kind of crossed my mind. I'm like, then what the fuck is the point of doing that? And also I kind of came to this other conclusion, like, was who's gonna fight Eve if she became evil? You know, during the future, like, was that just gonna be the ending? And then if that was gonna be the ending and no final fight, then I was scared of that happening too, because I was like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want there to not be a final fight because I chose to fuse with him. And besides, he had like this little angel form going on. And I was like, I'm really curious to see. And I was about to be disappointed because when I first fought him, he was on his human form and he was weak as shit. And then he turned to the other form, some badass shit, alright? Now, I just watched the ending where you take his hand and you basically play as Lilith. Well, you know, you play as Eve still after you fuse. And she, some odd reason, still retains her form. And they don't really like take on a more fusion-like state, you know. You would think she would look more how should I say it, different, you know, if she's gonna fuse with somebody, fusing with Adam, you think she look more different, but she basically just looks like Eve, but with I think like her feet change and she basically has like Raven's outfit on and that whole thing goes down. And then I saw the ending where basically Mother Spirit comes down and she's like, she's disappointed in her decision. She sends all the airborne strike members to come down there and Eve pretty much eliminates and kills them all. It's pretty badass, honestly. I wish I could have saw that fight. No, I actually might replay this game my own time and do that ending and just to see, you know, experience that. But I don't know right now though. But my whole thought, the whole situation was that while I didn't think too much about the choice I made, I didn't think it was going to seriously like impact the story the way it did. Now, like I said, my really thought about my own decision behind the whole choosing to not take his hand, which is really just to fight him, honestly. I just wanted to fight him. Bro. And like I said before, I know I said I didn't care about Adam. Now, listen to me when I say this. This is not because Adam is inherently a bad character. It's more of I felt like this game hasn't really given me enough to care about Adam enough to be like, yeah, man, I'll take your hand. I'll join your side, man. I see what you're trying to do. And don't get me wrong, Adam had a good idea. He had the right thought process, right? And the T-Bus, when angels are always going to hate each other, neither one of them are 100% human. Angels are pretty much robotic. And the T-Bus are humans, but regress to nothing less than animals at this point. You know, they're just eating people and stuff like that. And Adam is just basically trying to go to an evolution to a form which it could be somewhat human. You can kind of say like like, I don't know, 100% human or something close to that, you know, that can carry on the human population. Eventually humans can come back in full 100% flesh form instead of being part android or part angel or whatnot in that whole situation. So I get where Adam's coming from. I understand what he was trying to achieve, and he wasn't trying to achieve anything bad. He was actually trying to help humanity. You know, obviously when you choose not to take his hand, and Eve and Lilith basically goes back on Mother Spirit, and basically the Earth is cooked. Like, you saw the ending. Earth is fucking cooked. So it was definitely the bad ending, hands down. That was definitely a bad ending. Honestly, well, I ain't gonna say bad ending, but in the end, yeah, it's bad ending. It's bad ending. Mother Spirit is definitely the true antagonist of this game. Adam, honestly, in my honest opinion, I think that clear villain. Should have been more clear. It would have been more clear if Mother Spirit was like kind of shown, would have came down a lot sooner and showed to be like the enemy. Like after you took down Adam or something like that, and then Mother Spirit came down, it's like yeah, and now I got to get rid of you. Something like something like that. But maybe that would have been too cheesy. Maybe too cliche to do something like that. But I understand them. I understand. Now, like I said, I doubt I'm the only person who made this decision. Like I said, I made it because of two reasons. One, I wanted to fight Adam. He had a little angel form, and I thought he was going to have some real dope abilities. So I was looking forward to see what he was going to do if I decided to fight him. And I was really curious about that. So that's really the main reason I chose him. And to be honest, you could say this is just a result of saying that I didn't pay attention to the story enough, because they're Adam and Eve, them fusing together to create, a new beginning, set down a new path of life. Should have been quite obvious to choose to take his hand and lead to a better future. But let's be honest. Adam, like I said before, he was in the story for a while, and he kind of disappeared. Like, was it around the orbit time? Like right before you do the whole orbit, you're gonna go up to the orbit station and go up to the orbit tower, and basically before you even do all that, like I think when you first get there, he dips out. So he disappears quite for some time. Like at first, I assumed Adam was dead. Honestly, when he wasn't in time, I assumed he died somewhere along the way because the blood and stuff was on the ground. I thought he was dead. Honestly, he got taken over. But then I thought about the other possibility, and yep, I guessed it right. I guessed it right that he was indeed the Elder Netiba. But of course, he wasn't like on some super evil bad guy, I want to destroy the world type stuff. He wanted to save it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't care for Adam like that though. Adam's cool. He had his wits. He had his little jokes he throwed around. He showed that he cared a lot for Eve, and also he cared for Lilith over time. And he always wanted to help and do the best he can do. But it's like, yeah, I think it would have helped a lot more instead of Adam just being the voice of the drone. Him not being there physically and only seeing him like during times when you go to Zion, or him standing outside the ship was like, like bro. I mean, Adam's he's cool, but it's like I don't think you cool. I don't care enough to really want to, try to evolutionize and save the world, do all that. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I knew that would have been a good ending and say the word, I probably would have chose it. I'm not gonna say deny that. I probably would have chose it, maybe. Cause then again, I did saw that final fight, and basically you fight against Lilith when, you fight against the suit. And the suit connects back to the colony, and the suit basically goes crazy, which, in my opinion, was kind of boring compared to the fight versus Adam. Adam fight is definitely superior, in my opinion. The fight after that, when you basically fight against the Airborne Squad as Eve and the fusion form, now that was cool. But the versus the robot thing, comparing that to when you fight against Adam's form, like full Elder Netiba form, his Elder Netiba form was way cooler. I'm not even gonna debate that one, guys. That shit is way cooler. I saw the fight and I was like, it's alright. You feel me? I probably would have been let down a lot if I was just fighting out of control mech. That's nothing really special. For the simple fact, in the orbit, you fight a lot of mechs fused with Netibas and shit like that. So it's like, yeah, you fight walking around. You see mechs walking around, with the staff in the hand. They fight you, and now this one's just a giant mech with a lot of weapons on it. So, and then it can hit you. But when you fight against Adam, and Adam's in his Elder Netiba form, he's doing all kinds of stuff, bro. He got an instant kill attack. He got a lot of Ravens type of techniques, but he basically Ravens techniques, and he has her Netiba form techniques. Like they're both of them together, and you get Adam. All right, you get Adam, the Elder Netiba, and he's much faster too. He's way faster than Raven is with the techniques. So like he's really someone you really want to pay attention to. But I had a lot of fun going against him though. I lost against him like 2 times. I won't deny it. No, I won't say 2 times. Once, I think. Once because he won the instant kill. It was because he started speeding up his attacks more after he tried to hit instant kill, and after that he started switching his combos up a lot, and that kind of like threw me in the loop. And I was like, oh, okay, didn't see that coming. Boom, I'm dead. And yeah, it's like honestly, I still prefer the fight with Adam. Don't get me wrong. It's like, damn, like how I was saying, the Adam fight was definitely just superior in my opinion. But definitely taking Adam's hand during the fusion is definitely, I would say, considerably the canon ending. Honestly, if you didn't pay attention in this game, you would think like, yeah, you would not take Adam's hand. But I feel like even if you paid attention in this game, Adam all of a sudden being revealed as the Elder Netiba, even when he reveals his intentions to you at the end, let's be honest, guys. I mean, maybe, yeah, some of it may have been pretty obvious from the get-go because Adam, Eve, obviously, no matter what he says, he probably only meant the best for the world, and Eve only wants to save the world, so obviously that would have been a more logical choice if you think about it from that perspective. But, I mean, if you look at it from my point of view, I was playing the game, I paid attention to the story. There were some things I was questioning about. For the most part, though, I was keeping up with the story, understanding what's going on with the Naytibas, the android, Eidos, was it Eidos androids? I think that's what they call them. And then you had a airborne squad, and then you had the scavengers, and you had Zion, all that going down. And then you pay attention and get close to the ending, and you find out Adam's like basically switched sides. And from my perspective, it's like, oh. And then I called it. Don't get me wrong, I called it, guys. I literally called it right before I fight him. I called it. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Adam's either gonna be taken over by the Elder Naytiba, or he is the Elder Naytiba. And Lord and behold, like, get out there, he is the Elder Naytiba. So like, I kind of, when I got in that mindset, I was kind of like, yeah, this guy's evil. Like, and maybe I shouldn't be so close-minded. I probably had to blame myself for that one. I got really close-minded in that moment, and if I had just like kept an open mind and start thinking like, okay, listening to more of his reasons, like while I was listening to him, I kind of already made up my mind, like, yeah, this guy's evil. Like, no matter what he says, he got some ulterior motive. And honestly, it didn't seem like he had an ulterior motive. When I saw the good ending, he kind of just like gave his power to Eve, and she became an evolved version. And basically, yeah, that was considered. I would consider probably, well, I would like to consider that the canon ending, but more than likely, if they were able to try to do a Stellar Blade sequel, the likely ending would be a sequel. Yeah, the likely ending would probably be a sequel to the bad ending, or quote unquote bad ending. All right, because let's be honest, Mother Spirit is the true enemy, and that's yet to be really taken care of in this story. Surprisingly enough, Mother Spirit just kind of like been chilling doing her own thing. Everybody came after her because she was up in space with the colony. So I think just that. I think that would be interesting to find out in the bad ending where Eve and Lilith go up there and they finally realize, like, yeah, this is not what we really wanted. You know, you got to stop this, and they try to go and stop Mother Spirit when they get up there. I don't know, I think that would be kind of interesting to see how that would go down in Stellar Blade too. But with all that being the case, you know, it's like, damn. Like, it was like, damn, because I realized, and it just got me thinking, like, I was really thinking about it when I finished the game, and I'm like, there's two choices. So I was like, at first I didn't want to overthink it. I'm like, man, maybe because there was another choice like this. When you guys remember in the beginning, like towards the beginning of the game, when you first leave Silent Street and you leave, no, it's Adolf 7. You first leave Adolf 7 and you go back, you finally head to Zion for the first time. And on the way there, you get a choice. And I was like, I chose the opposite choice when he was like, he asked Eve for help, and I was like, nah, I don't want to help you. And then it still led to the same thing regardless. So I was like, I think it's one of those situations, like, it didn't matter what I choose, it was still going to be the same situation. So it was nice to know that, yeah, there was two different endings, and it had a secret ending as well. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's really cool. I think, honestly, it was just, I had to blame it on myself for not just putting the context clues together a lot sooner and realizing, like, yeah, being closed-minded and automatically assuming that Adam was straight on some evil intentions type shit and not even really, like, trying to be on some, I want to save the world, I want to do better for the world. And Adam's intentions were indeed pure, alright, don't get me wrong. He saved Eve, he repaired Eve, he helped her on getting all the hyper cells, but at the end of the day, when I also did think about as well, is that while I was being kind of closed-minded, I was also thinking about all the things that Adam let happen. If he's the Elder Naytiba, you gotta think about it. He let that Naytiba go to Zion and do all that damage, kill all those people, do all that damage to Zion, kill the Oracle, and then he also led the Naytibas straight up. Like, I didn't say he let them. Maybe he couldn't control all the Naytibas that was out in the wild, but he could at least done. He could have done a lot more, bro. For Zion, he could have done so much more, bro. You gotta look how many people were dying left and right. You just how much there was so many of the scavengers and the people of Zion that were dying to just stuff out in the great desert, the wastelands, trying to get parts, trying to make a living, you know. And there was a person among them the entire time who could have made a great change. But then again, I understand for not revealing himself because, well, they hated Naytibas. If they found out he was the elder, what do you think would happen? They would have tried to eliminate him as soon as possible. They would have definitely tried to kill Adam. But he could at least done something for the shadows to try to help them to make things better. Yeah, think about like how long he been letting this stuff happen to all the people of the world. Maybe because he didn't consider them 100% human. But my biggest gripe about it is that when the Raven basically went to Zion and did all that damage, he didn't do anything. He just let it happen. Now I know he could have stopped Raven for doing it. As much loyalty she had to him, he definitely could have stopped her from doing it. But she still went there anyway, and he just let it happen. So it's like he could have prevented so much damage, so much death from that. And it's like, yeah, man. Like, I had to start questioning, like, at what point, how much did Adam really cared about humanity, to be honest, or what was left of humanity, to be honest, for him to have just been sitting back watching all this stuff happen and pretending as if he couldn't do nothing at all, and basically just watch everyone struggle. It's like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's insane work. Like, if you think about it, if the Natibas knew Adam was in Zion or El Natiba was there, they probably could have even tried to come up with a cure using his DNA. They probably could try to find a way to reverse what happened to the Natibas. It took a long time, but they probably could have came up with a way to do so. You know, there's a lot of possibilities in that situation that could have happened. And I just feel like, in a way, Adam was really selfish for not really saying anything, just sticking to himself in this whole time, you know. And then Raven is also a victim. Well, I ain't gonna say she's a victim because she did that fucked up shit that happened. That's not thinking about Taki, yo. Let's thought about it. Adam let this shit happen to Taki. He let Raven take Taki, kill her, and then also, well, killing her was, I think that was before he saved Eve. He killed the shit. Raven killed her. And then he let her basically turn her into a Natiba, bro. Like, what? Like, I guess Taki was kind of like a failed experiment of trying to make basically what Adam was trying to do with Eve, trying to make a perfect fusion. I guess that's what that attempt was. I guess, but I still think that's fucked up. Like, there's just no forgiving some shit like that. You let that shit happen, bro. Like, it's like, damn, like, did you really care that much? Like, you knew that Taki was Eve's best friend because she brought her up before, like, a lot. So it's like, damn, like, really? Like, and then, you know, it's just a lot of things you could just think about and list the shit that Adam just let slide and didn't really say nothing. I didn't say he was all powerful, that he could just stop all Natibas, but you telling me he couldn't, like, for a certain area prevent Natibas from attacking? Like, bro, alright, bro. Alright, bro. I don't know, that's just my thoughts on it, and I just wanted to let you guys know why I chose the ending that I chose, you know, and that might be considered a bad ending, of course. I mean, I think we can all agree on a general consensus that, yeah, that's probably the bad ending because they're about to commit genocide or take over the earth, unless we get a sequel or something like that, and I'm not sure about that. I don't know if they were announced they want to do something like that for this game. But, you know, I'm not against it, you know, depending on which ending they want to make canon. I don't know if sure they already got a canon ending for this game or not, but, you know, I'm interested to see what they come up with and see what they can do with the story going forward. I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun gameplay. There was a lot more to go for in this game, and there was a lot of cool little abilities I wish I could have got from enemies, like the teleportation thing and the dual swords. That was cool. I think this could have been something really more interesting too, with variety of weapons, to the fact that she can just pull the weapon sword out of her hair. I think she could have, you know, made it like something different. Like she could have made like a thin sword, a long sword. I think it'd be interesting to see that being a reflection of, like, when she got the long ponytail, it'd be a long sword. If it's a short, she got a short ponytail, it becomes a short sword. I think that would have been a real interesting the dynamic that happened that go down. That's just like be interesting to interact with. But I mean, that'd require a lot of more skill trees and a lot of more different combos and attacks. So I don't know what the budget was looking like for this game. I'd imagine it was pretty huge, but you know, because AAA games these days have a gigantic budget. But for right now, people, I'm gonna wrap this up. I might say more in a more commentary video when I'm feeling a lot more better. I'm not sure when that's gonna be. I'll probably spot this video up a lot, probably like polish it up a bit, you know, edit some things up and, you know, put some more things down on the track. But, you know, my voice might sound kind of weird. Like I said before, I've been under the weather a lot lately. Even in my final fight, like ending this game playthrough, I've been under the weather the entire time. I feel a lot better, but I'm not 100%. I'll probably say right now I feel I'm probably like 75%. All right, it isn't the best thing ever, but it isn't the worst thing ever either. So no, I'm in a pretty okay state right now. But all that being said, though, folks, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's like the video, start the video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below on Spread Show, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.